What's good, YouTube, man? I'm back with another video, and this is going to be another part of the trial. They got day 2. I don't know how many days they finna have, bro. This could be like a year-long trial for real. This is one of the biggest trials you'll ever probably see. Most famous person put on trial. Listen, we could say he one of the most famous people because he was in today's era. We're not talking about other eras. We talking about today, this age. He was about to like be one of the top artists, if not was the top artist. So we about to watch this 12-minute video, and then we got some other stuff we might watch after this because they were saying one of the people he killed, one of his victims, allegedly, one of his alleged victims' dad was speaking on it and said there's a motive. He basically said there's a motive. I think it was made up just so the case can be put away. But bro, if your son lived that life, why are you telling? Come on.
In Buckmeyer, day 2 of rapper Ynw, given name as Jamel Demons, is accused of killing 2 men he called his friends. In October of 2018, Melly's best friend, Cortland Henry, showed up at a Miami hospital claiming his friends were caught in a drive-by shooting and were bleeding out in the car. Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas had multiple gunshot wounds and were pronounced dead. Henry told officers they were shot at while leaving a recording studio. But when police got there, they said there was no evidence that a drive-by had occurred. Investigators determined the victims were shot by someone in the
They tried to set that up crazy if that's the case.
car, and surveillance showed 4 men inside, including Melly. Police arrested Melly and Henry on 2 counts of first-degree murder each. They are being tried separately and have both pled not guilty. The prosecutor walked one investigator through the photos he took of the Jeep where Thomas and Williams were killed. We want to warn you, some of the photos do show blood inside the SUV.
That is the area between the front passenger seat and the door jamb for the front passenger door.
Okay, whose phone is that though?
Next photo, what are we looking at here?
That is the front passenger side floorboard.
Moving on here, the seats, did you manipulate them in any way before taking this photograph?
No, I did not.
What the heck happened to the seat?
Moving on into
Those
the
are
next
gold?
photograph, what are we looking at there?
Those are gold caps for teeth.
And so it's clear that that's a close-up photo from this rear passenger door. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, sir.
Why were the goals just sitting there in the door? I ain't gonna lie, I heard something crazy about some goals days earlier that happened days earlier prior to this with them, Juvie and Ynw Melly. So
that is a spent projectile.
So I'm going to go back a photo.
is that a bullet?
Is that the same projectile that is down here?
Yes, it is.
Going forward again, what are we looking at in this image?
That is the
Oh, I had those Jordans.
passenger side floorboard and items that were found there.
Continuing to the next photo, what are you documenting in this image?
In this image, you can see the partial back of the front passenger side seat.
Bro, they had a Sprite before they died.
The rear passenger side floorboard. The rear passenger side seat.
Let's get to the argument.
Documenting in this image.
This image shows the trunk which had been opened, and in the photograph you can see the car manual and a jacket.
Did you disturb any of the glass? Did any of the glass move when you were opening that trunk?
Not that I recall.
Not that I recall. Oh yeah. No.
A lot of today's
the scene at the time. If all of that goes well, then it can be introduced. But the process itself is also tedious because you have to first ID the piece of evidence, and then you have to show it to opposing counsel, and then you have to show it to the witness, and then you lay that foundation, and then the judge, you may get an objection.
This is not what I wanted to watch. This is what I wanted to watch. This is basically Ynw Melly's one of his murder victims.
That's Christopher Thomas, known as Ynw Juvie. The man accused of murdering him, Ynw Melly, is on trial accused of killing another man too. Juvie's dad is here with his story.
Yeah, Juvie's dad. That's what it is.
I'm Antoinette Levy, and welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. Testimony is underway in the trial of Jamel Demons, known by his stage name Ynw Melly. Melly is accused of murdering two members of his group, Chris Thomas, who went by Ynw Juvie, and Anthony Williams, who was known as Ynw Sack Chaser. The men were shot to death in an SUV after leaving a late-night recording session on October 26, 2018, with Melly and another group member, Cortland Henry, who went by Ynw Bortland.
Why does he look like 30 Deep Grimy so
was
much?
driving the SUV. Later that morning, Bortland showed up at the hospital. Juvie and Sack Chaser were dead in the car. Melly was not with them. Chris, first of all, I know this has been a difficult almost 5 years now. How are you doing right now with this
It's
trial
been
finally
5 years?
It's kind of overwhelming at times, but doing the best I can at the moment.
A lot of people may not know a lot about your son. What do you want people to know about him? We know he was, an aspiring rapper. He was part of this Ynw group.
Chris was a good kid. He's the second of my oldest boys. He's the oldest of his mom's kids, and he loved his whole family. He loved all his friends, and he just got caught up for being too loyal and got betrayed by one of his so-called friends. It's a sad situation for everybody.
Tell me a little bit about that, because, it's my understanding that Juvie was friends with Melly and Sack Chaser for quite some time. Tell me, when did you first come to know Melly?
I met Melly around like 99, like a couple years before Chris met her. I was friends with his Melly's mom, best friend at the time, and that's how I got to know Melly. Then Chris got to know him after that. They was all good kids coming up, just laughing, playing, joking with each other, having fun, like to hang out with each other, and he loved them boys, and he loved them to a fault.
So he was friends with them.
Okay, so he loved them. You just gave him reasonable doubt. That's crazy.
They were little kids then, it sounds like.
Yes, man. They went to elementary, middle school, high school, all together. That's how I know his mom as well, and his stepdad, and the rest of his family, Melly's family. And the music started, I think, around 2000, maybe 13.
And they were just all making the music together?
Yes. Started from rapping at school until making music together and coming up with the name, the Ynw, and they like to do big things, and it just got cut short. This tragedy. Everybody that's around still trying to pick up the pieces. Like a lot.
You don't play with Melly the Menace on God. You just don't.
The families got broken with the situation.
Melly is saying that he is innocent. His defense attorneys are saying the state can't prove its case. But it's my understanding you believed from the very beginning that Melly was responsible for your son's death and the death of Anthony.
From the day one, I believe that Melly was responsible for my son's death on October 26th when I first heard the story.
Just because he's responsible doesn't mean he did it.
Because his explanation, when I finally talked to him and Cortland on the FaceTime, their response and how they was reacting, they showed no remorse. They didn't act like they was grieving, like they lost a best friend or nothing. They was, in my opinion, they was in the best spirits. They never came to town, never came to my son's funeral, never came to Sack's funeral. And these are your best friends. He passed straight through the county of Indian River, went to Brevard and did a music video, but he couldn't even stop and pay his condolences to his best friend's mom. He even got Jana tatted on his neck. That's why his defense attorney got him wearing turtlenecks and shirt to hide his neck, because he got Jana tatted on his neck. That's Sack's mom's name. And he got Chris' name and Sack's name. And this guy, that guy is just, I have no words for that guy.
What was it in particular that was said on that FaceTime that made you think that Melly...
I don't want nobody in jail. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want nobody in jail. I'm not going to say nothing that criminates him, but it's not looking too good if they find motive. And I think they found motive based on what this dude says. I don't know if he's gonna go in
He
court.
was responsible.
Nothing was said. Actually, like the demeanor. It was like the body language, really. Like I was just reading them, and as I'm telling them and asking them questions, I got so emotional. I started crying. They didn't even. They wasn't reacting to. They act like They didn't have to take a loss at all. That's how. That's how I took it. And then when I was talking to them, I still had in the back of my mind that something's not right. Something's not right.
Did they tell you anything about what they claimed happened with the drive-by they claim happened?
No, they had absolutely no explanation. Like we had to figure it out, just like the police.
Chris, why do you think that this happened? Why do you think, Melly did this? Because, Melly is on trial. The state has to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed these crimes. But why do you think this happened?
I think the story about the 200,000 with Anthony was a true story because it's not reported, but Chris told me the same story, and also with a $500,000 play, and Melly was going to get 200,000, Sack was going to get 200,000, Chris was going to get 100,000, and as I'm hearing it from Chris, they was going to sell the YNW brand, not a record deal or
Okay, so
nothing like that.
I'm gonna let this
It
play
was
out.
like for the brand itself. And by them being founding members, they was going to get a piece of the pie. So I don't think Melly did it on his own. I think that manager guy got in his ear and did a little divide and conquer. Because if it was up to Sack, it would never be a 100K management.
They were going to sell the YNW name for licensing or to sell products? Or what do you mean they were going to sell the name?
For marketing, licensing, stuff like that. I think they want to go up on the big umbrella just to push them, I think. Push the brand more global. That's what I'm thinking.
And so you think that Melly wanted a bigger cut of that then?
I think Melly didn't want to give them guys nothing. He wanted to be the.
I don't think that's necessarily true. If it is that way, hey, like bro, that's kind of strange. I ain't gonna lie, cause like you should want your homies to win. But I don't think it was money motivated. I really don't. I think Melly was on his way to riches, bro. I doubt that's the possibility.
And them the two that look like me the most, and just have to wait and see, man. It's gonna be a process.
At the end of the day, they haven't said any lucrative things that could put him away for real, bro. He can literally like skate if he was to go, if he is the one who did that, he could skate based on the evidence that they're presenting right now. But hey, listen, everybody got to pay for the crimes they did. I don't listen, but I don't think everybody deserves jail. Like they could give him the death penalty. I doubt they'll give him that because there's not enough evidence that proves he did it, as opposed to Cortland or whatever his name is, Bortland, whatever. But y'all make sure y'all stay tuned throughout this trial. We got part 2, part 3 coming soon. This is part 2. I guess day 2. Y'all make sure y'all drop a like, drop a sub, put on this channel, bro. We going crazy. We doing more and more videos every day. I'm gonna start doing multiple videos in a day when I get more comfortable. I've been trying to make ends meet, trying to pay my bills and make videos. I don't get paid too much off YouTube, so I gotta work my way around that to get some time for you guys, man. So drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment for sure. Put on the channel. Let's go. Share it out. Watch it on multiple channels. I don't care. Do what you gotta do. Love y'all. Peace out. Be safe, gang.